What is going on, guys? Today I'm going to be showing you some custom tactics and a formation that you definitely want to be running if you are starting the game in EAFC24. This is perfect for starter squads, for a little bit more advanced, and just overall clean gameplay. So as you can see, we have got just the generic squad and how it is played. This is not the formation. It is purely at the moment just to get Chiesa on some links. The fact that he's right wing, or left mid. And we already have a kind of Leao and also Ansu Fati that can be interchangeable for the two places. So what you want to do is left stick in, which is very annoying that they've changed it this year, but you want to go over to custom tactics. So I've completely made the team again so I can input it at the same time I show you. So we are on the balanced. What I would normally do is obviously go for the attacking, as I am going to change my formation. That is just an extra tip for you if you are new to the game, if this is literally your first EAFC or FIFA, whatever you want to call it. We have some defensive styles. So this is going to be purely how you defend and also kind of what you do as a style, as it literally says. But you have press after possession loss, you have constant pressure, drop back, balance, pressure on heavy touch, and back onto the press after possession loss. So what you've got is balance is normally, I would say, a very safe bet. Balance, it's always going to be the normal kind of play for a non-ultra attacking or ultra defensive sort of tactic. If you've got pressure after heavy touch, personally for me, I don't like this one. I feel like it uses a lot of stamina, and I find myself kind of losing players in different positions because they have gone for that heavy touch, and it's not always guaranteed that it works. If you've got somebody who is decent at the game and can recover a lot of the balls, they A, won't give you many heavy touches, and B, they'll just learn how to manipulate that. You've got press after possession loss. This one's not terrible if done correctly. I feel like balance and this one is my two favorite. This one is purely a possession based one where if you lose the possession, you've got 7 seconds, it says approximately, so it could be 1 second, 2 seconds more, or obviously less, where you almost go for a full press. You almost go for that constant pressure, so you find that the stamina does deplete a lot more than balance, but most definitely not as much as constant pressure. So it is good if you are trying in a tested match, maybe your opponent and yourself are battling for possession, kind of back and forth. It keeps you in the game, and if you are good at overturning, getting the ball back, then this one is going to be a nice one if you're against a semi-decent opponent. Constant pressure is just for full attack. It is not for your basic normal gameplay, because you'll find you will lose so much more fatigue. Your players will lose the stamina so much quicker, and you just, by the end of it, the last 30 minutes is just an all-out brawl for them to just pepper you with shots. So I would say that is like last 10 minutes, in an American terms, a Hail Mary. Go for the ball and you're already down. You're either drawing and you want to win and you don't want to go to extra time, or obviously you are losing and you need to bring one back to go into extra time. Drop back, it is very popular, I must admit. This one for me is not necessarily my favorite, as again it does require you to be at least semi-good at cutting runs and also defending at the same time. You basically trying to get people on the counter-attack, as you can see on the screen, you do, as they get the ball, you literally, as it states, drop back into your defense. You want to be then more passive. Your striker comes back a little bit more as well. So it is all about completely going on the defense. Again, this one for me would be more on my ultra defensive, holding off a 1-1 if you think they're just going to score. You need to take it to extra time, or you've got a 1-0 lead and you don't necessarily want to give it up. For me, I am always balanced with this. Pretty much most of my normal kind of tactics will start off with balance. My ultra attack would definitely go into the more constant pressure, and then drop back would be my ultra defensive, and I might have another possession play in a defensive but not ultra defensive as well. With the width, I keep that personally at 50. That one is absolutely fine. I like the width of it. I get enough on the wing, but then not enough that, well, not a little amount to then be able to pass it to the wing. Depth though, this can range. Last year I ran 50, 52, I want to say. This year I'm finding myself a lot better with the 40. It's not quite in the massive depth, like if you can literally go all the way into your box. And I'd say 30 is the absolute maximum I probably would ever go. That would be more, again, ultra defensive. But I think 40 drops it back nicely, as you find in a lot of the times this FIFA round. You are pretty much always getting them through balls. It's a constant ball of precision passes, precision through balls, and once people start to get really good at that, they will break a defense down, no problem. So I like a 40 depth personally there. Going on to the offense, you have fast build-up, long ball, balance, slow build-up, fast build-up, long ball. Excuse me. I was thinking that hold on a second, there's runs and stuff, but no, that is the chance creation. Got myself muddled up. So balance is again a standard. Slow build up is more of your passing. Fast build up is almost, it's not necessarily, as you can see on the screen, it's not necessarily complete run straight through, but it is say 3-4 passes and you're in the opponent's half. Whereas slow build up is more kind of your ticky-tacky, maybe going for like 8 to 9 passes before you even venture into the halfway line. You have the long ball, which again is more Hail Mary, and again could suit a style against a lower defensive player, which is something that you can change mid-game. Personally, again, I would probably go with balance for this, just to keep it nice and tight. I keep my passing good. I like the passing game in this. It makes the opponent work and almost bring people out of possession as well. Then also you've got the chance creation. You have forward runs, direct passing, balance, and possession. For me, normally I run direct passing, as like I said, I am more of a passer in the game, but a quick passer, almost like a fast build-up direct passing, but I don't find it works really with my style. I find the balance is kind of just in between the slow build-up and the fast build-up, so it works really well to give you space, but then also can get through quite quickly. When it comes for the whip for this, I normally push it out a little bit more because on the defense, I want them nice and compact, ready to go on that defense. Whereas I kind of want them not necessarily to burst out to the wings because I don't want to constantly be hitting the bylines. I want to be making sure that A, they are spread into that kind of zone, but then not too much where that is where I'm being covered. Because if you go, for instance, as you can see on the screen, the left and right mid, which is the two middle ones, if you go to that left mid, if say where your position is there, if you've got your opponent on the other side of the halfway line, predominantly he should be against your your left back in that role, whereas I'm going to be going against the right back. It's very easy to just push straight to the wing and then you've got to cut in every single time. If then you, for instance, take the inside, you've got their right back on you, but then also you've got their right centre mid as well. It's just a constant barrage of attacks. I personally like the passing going through the middle, going to the left, maybe coming back to the middle, going to the right, and really building up the play from there. We then have players in the box. This again can vary massively. You can go all the way up to everybody in the box or completely nobody in the box. Again, you are going to venture across the bottom end and the top end depending on ultra and ultra attack and ultra defend. Personally, again, I keep it pretty bog standard in the middle. I like the 3 players in to start with. If I find that's not working, I may push to my second formation or custom tactics to maybe put more or less in the box as well. Corner wise though, I will drop this to 3, even same with free kicks. Free kicks I tend to go with 2, purely for the fact that I like to have a shot on a free kick. I'm not necessarily massively advanced when it comes to free kicks, so I'm not doing the passing game, whereas if you are more fluent in your free kicks, maybe you've got a pass, a dummy run that goes into a pass, that could work with maybe having 3 or 4 in, whereas I really just shoot, especially if it's from a distance. I don't mind going for the 2, keeping some people back, which obviously helps me not be counterattacked. Same with the corner. I tend to bring my player closer, so I don't necessarily need the full works in the box. Again, I would rather sit off that counter rather than giving them the chance to. Then we go into the formation. It is a bog standard when it comes to it. Why is this coming up again? Oh, different account. When we go into this then, so I personally go with the 4-4-2. It is as standard as you like. I will personally, at the minute, go with Leao and Osimhen up front. Ansu Fati's been beautiful on the wing. Maybe if I do sell Leao, I will push him up and go for somebody a little bit more of the pace on the wing, whereas I think Ansu's got a very good round game with that 85 evolutions. We then also have Chiesa on the right, obviously Bruno and Odegaard in the middle. We have Martinez and Konate sitting at back, and then Furlan and Danilo at the back as well in fullbacks. That is as standard as I like. Then we go into the instructions. So this is where it gets a little bit more of the kind of tactic game right here. So we go from the goalkeeper, absolute balance. I'm not too fussed about anything like that. You have got the options of caution with crosses, comes for crosses. That is good because that does eliminate the trait, which is always nice. But again, I'm going for basic balance. Then you also have Sweeper Keeper. Again, I will bring him out if I need to with obviously the Y button. When it comes to Danilo and Mendy, normally what I go with this, if I'm keeping it very balanced in this formation, I would just go a simple stay back whilst attack. I don't necessarily need them venturing up unless I bring them myself. Then you can obviously do the kind of 1-2 button, so it's LB, LB and A, then obviously they'll make that run forward. You can then lay it off to them, or you just carry on running and they'll eventually trap back again. When it comes to the defenders, stay back also attack is default. I keep them as simple as same. We then have the options with the 2 centre mids. So what I normally do is cover centre with both. That is just a standard. With Bruno Gomes though, because he's more of my defensive midfielder, I will go with more stay back whilst attack. Purely for the fact it's what I run most of the time, because I want to have almost a 5-back without it being a 5-back. You can just work in a 5-back and have another centre-back, but I find having that midfielder, it doesn't mean that he doesn't venture forward. It just means that you've got to almost push him yourself rather than necessarily leaving him there. But I find he does hang around the kind of middle of the park, which is absolutely perfect, again, to break any counter-attacks off. But then also, he's good if you need a pass there. You want to go from left to right, he's going to be your man in the middle. Odegaard then gets a little bit of a free roam to some extent. He will still cover centre, which again, does stop the early counter-attacks, but I'm not necessarily busting everything for him to get that ball back. We then also have the wingers. So these two are going to be balanced on the defense support, because I want them to come back, but I don't necessarily want them to stay back or stay forward. So I keep them normally at the kind of basics. When it comes to the other options, you have got stay wide, free roam, or cut inside. Depending on the level of the opponent, it might change. But in terms of kind of what I've got at the moment, Ansu and Chiesa are not necessarily your cut-in sort of types. I like Ansu to go byline, cut in from there. Chiesa is more of a crosser, if anything, from what I've found. His kind of dribbling ability is good, but I do prefer it from Leao and Ansu on the other side, as well as that's why I've got Odegaard that side as well, as I do find it's a very heavy hitting zone, whereas Gomes being this side, he's not got that support from a midfielder. Even though Odegaard does flex between the two, he's predominantly normally made on the left, in my opinion, when it comes to it. So I'd keep him balanced. I wouldn't necessarily go with anything there. You've got come short, target player, or getting behind. I go with balance on all of them when it comes to the kind of 2 wingers. When it goes to the strikers, though, this is where you definitely want to be staying forward, as I do think them two are going to be perfect to staying up top. Again, this is an attacking balanced formation. I'm not looking to really overstretch everybody. I want to keep it nice and tight in the middle, so I'm not getting counter-attacked, but then also have some options going down the wing, going through the middle, and also maybe one of them goes for the long ball. Depends on who I'm kind of putting on that zone. With Osimhen, I will keep him on that mixed, as normally what I do find with a lot of tactics that I've seen, they'll have 2 strikers on getting behind. I have used this numerous times, has never worked for me, because what you're finding, Leao and Osimhen, both of them will be doing the exact same runs, and it doesn't work. They're easily counterable. When you've got a high level opponent, you'll get the offside trap. Gotta admit, it's got to be done right, but then also you do need to have that reflexes to get that pass whilst they're doing it. Very easy to be cut down as well, but also they're running in the same way, bringing more defenders back. The whole point of getting behind is you want Leao to push forward, Osimhen maybe to even drop closer. You're almost bringing the defenders, one going back with him, but hopefully you're getting Leao on the ball first, but then Osimhen is bringing a man back. So even if you get a one-on-one, Leao gets the ball down, you've got an opponent with you, you haven't got that second one with him, as Osimhen has dragged him a little bit forward, which may not be loads. He will be able to catch if you don't necessarily run straight on, but most definitely gives him that bit of an edge. So Osimhen for me would stay on that mixed attack. Maybe at times I might go with necessarily the, not in getting behind, isn't there a, hold on, isn't there a stay central, and it would be target player. So that would be kind of where I'd go for when it comes to a very much target man sort of player. Even though he does have the 90 pace, Leao does have that acceleration play style, which is most definitely going to be used more in this game as we go forward. So I'd keep him there. Then obviously with Leao, like we kind of discussed, he would get in behind, keep it going like there, stay forward, and then obviously I would normally keep him on a balance, because if he needs to drift wide, that's absolutely fine. I'll go for the through ball wide, and then obviously Osimhen would come into the centre at that point, and then if he goes in central, again, we can just lob the ball over the top, maybe go for a curved precision through ball, and you're an absolute golden star. In terms of roles, it's pretty standard. We've got obviously the crossers. Penalties depend on who wants the goal, to be fair. I'm not really too fussed. And Odegaard's got the short free kicks. That is going to be my tactics. Let me know down below if you've got any others. If you wanted me to try any, let me know. Go on Instagram if you want to send a message there, or if it can be come out in a comment. Let me know your tactics and I'll have a look in a video very soon. Take care. Peace.